Hey, how you guys doing? This is producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to the Marvel Hacks. This is our look back at the 1997 year for the X-Men, in anticipation of the Disney Plus series coming out sometime in 2024, depending on writers' strikes and all those things. On the line is Brother Beavis. Say what's happening.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
1997.
yeah, 1997. So we look back at what was it, Uncanny 340 last time, and then X-Men 60, and we looked at the creative teams and the writing and the drawing and all of that, and we got into the books and where Creed was killed and Storm was on a mammy mission, uh, with the Eternal, from the X-Men the animated series. And as I said before we started recording, like some of these books in 1997, it seems like they were just trying. They can't be trying to find their footing because Lobdell's been on the books for a while, but it really feels kind of like a spinning your wheels kind of situation. What do you think?
Yeah, it's I don't know if there's a I think the old arc with Raiden Creed went for a bit. That just wrapped up. I feel like they're kind of like in the middle of stuff, so they're whether they're trying to wrap up loose ends or just like maybe set up some new stuff or just have some filler episode. Yeah, there's not really like an overarching plot that we've got a hold of yet. It just seems like some one and two offs and see how it goes.
Yeah, and we touched on this, but I don't think we fully touched on it, and we'll get into it here tonight for sure. This is post Onslaught, and this is during Heroes Reborn. So their X-Men are the only heroes at this point in time. So all the other heroes are off in Franklin's magical world and being reborn. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. If you have a strong take about it as a listener, at least if you have a positive take about it, you are going to get your feelings hurt tonight. Because I got thoughts for sure. So yeah, we'll get into that here momentarily. If you're on YouTube, you can kind of follow along with the slides and slideshow or whatever. But so let's just jump into it. So like we said, Uncanny X-Men 341 and X-Men 61 tonight. No real changes in our creative team as well. Same Lobdell on pencil on the writing, and Joey Mad and Cedric Nokun is on X-Men, but he's about to get replaced by, I think it's Carlos Pacheco coming up on X-Men, who's about to have a severely long run on that book. So this was kind of just a holdover issues, and they really feels like it. Like X-Men, we talk about it a bit too. X-Men definitely is the secondary book in this situation.
You think?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely think
Yeah,
so.
you're right. I mean, well, I don't know. Like, it seems like the quality team is right now is on Uncanny. And
Yeah.
this story in X-Men with Storm and the Eternal is kind of booty.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's the booty book. It's definitely B is for booty.
yeah.
Like it is not the stronger of the two books. So we'll see if that changes once they get a better artist on. But yeah, no changes. Our creative team, we're good to go there. So let's get into it. Uncanny X-Men 341, what we call the cannonball push. So if you listen to any of our other stuff, we are wrestling fans. We use inside wrestler jargon, a push meaning that somebody is about to, get pushed up the card, whether it's been from the bottom to the middle or the middle to the top. Somebody's about to get some wins, maybe win a title. There's going to be a lot of focus put on them, old school wrestling that you think you can make some money off of them. And so Cannonball is going to get the big old wrestling push here in this particular issue. So to recap, it's the holiday season. Cannonball is out, buying gifts for his entire family in Kentucky, and the gladiator of the Imperial Guard shows up, and it turns into a comic book fight. Our B plot is Joseph, and we'll talk about that in a second too. Joseph has found a way to smash Rogue. That's basically it. Would that be fair? Because I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, she's taken a liking to him. There's a little bit of a love triangle with Gambit, but yeah, that's pretty much the whole issue. So,
And I
but
don't know if you were going to get into this, but I don't we so Cannonball is on the team coinciding with the start of Generation X. So He did not have to go to remedial class. He got moved up to the majors.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna jump. That might be the next slide. Okay, so if we think about it, this is like Cannonball's getting the jump up to the A team. Oh, coming up from the minors, whatever euphemism for sports you want to use. And so he's being brought up. But over the course of time, like the New Mutants were supposed to be like the farm system for the X-Men, and they were supposed to come up and do that. They got co-opted in the X-Force when Cable came around, and then Generation X became that group where you can buy the foil-covered book for 5 cents, apparently, by the way. So if you have that in your long box, and part of your retirement investment plan, it ain't it. And now those teams, at least over the time that we were reading these books, they were really just teenage teams. X-Force turned into something else, but it wasn't like a farm system. Like, wow, you know what? Monet is like doing the shits here in Generation X. We got to bring her up to the
Yeah.
to the big leagues. No, they just kind of toiled in those books, and
Yeah.
they toiled. That
Well, New Mutants was originally like they were formed when Charles believed the X-Men were dead.
mhm,
And he was really trying to make a school, not a team of adventurers. And they would sneak out behind his back to have adventures.
mm,
And I think Generation X was a similar concept, although the X-Men were dead. It was like, oh no, you need to go to school. And then we get the kind of the start of the White Queen is, I guess, a hero, but
mm,
consistently does villain stuff,
right.
and Banshee is going to keep her in line or whatever. So, but no, I was wrong. Like Cannonball had a stint in X Force, which they were the New Mutants, and they went on the run during one of the crossovers or whatever, and then they kind of came back in the fold, but they got their asses kicked in one of the crossovers we read. So they were just kind of out there now.
Eh,
I, I don't even know where they fit into this, like the
yeah.
overall story.
Yeah. And again, he was the leader of the New Mutants, and then he was a big part of X Force.
Mhm.
So, it makes sense that he'd be one of the ones that got called up. So here's this part here that we're going to go into that's related and unrelated. In X-Men 61, we meet a young Karma, who is going to wind up getting a push to be one of the main people as we get into the newer books and kind of modern times. And when the modern times and look in the last, 7-10 years or so, that she becomes a very important part of the X-Men and getting, a push. But it also comes to this part here that we are ending the Krakoan era here in the modern comic books. If you go back and listen to our archives, we couldn't have been more effusive in our praise of House of X and Power of X. And the Krakoan saga wound up going on for like 5 years. The books that came out of that, Brother Beavis read more than I did. Once Hickman left, it became a little bit more messy, at least in my opinion. I couldn't keep up with it. As always, too many X books, too many side stories, too many crossovers. It just became too much. And so now they're ending this era on Krakoa, and the X-Men are resetting back to center, probably the mansion or something to that effect. I'm not really sure because I'm not reading the books. So that part of that question is, why do they always reset back to form? Because if you believe people that are on the internet, they'll be like, oh yeah, Sync and all these other mutants, they are the future. They should be what it's about. And then you put them in books and they may be acclaimed critically, but they don't get read.
Yeah.
They're short issued, limited series or something like that, and everything goes back to form. So why have all of these damn mutants is the question. If you're really only going to focus on the main ones anyway, because it's the Star Wars uh paradox here. It's like, hey, we have all these new stories. Old fan people are like, hey, fuck that shit. I don't like these new shit, whatever. The sexism and racism that comes with that too. But so you alienate the old fanboys. The new fan people are like, fuck Skywalker. We can't be in on these stories anymore. But they don't have the passion for the new shit that the old people have. So you're stuck. So
Yeah.
they always
Well,
come back to form. So what's your thought?
by by perpetuating sort of the racist storyline with the X-Men, there is no place for a mutant to just be a mutant and have regular life. I mean, eventually they're going to get threatened in some way, at which point the X-Men are going to come and then eventually that person will have a code name and a costume. And so
Mm,
there is no alternative to being, a mutant other than to somehow be in the X-Men circle.
right.
And as far as like the reset, like I think it's just like we're either out of ideas or sales are dropping off. We got to go back to what people know.
Mm,
And it's going to be different this time. It's going to be better this time. Or we're going to take
yeah.
what we learned and we're going to put it back here. But,
uh,
that's just, you know, that's
they they
they sold
cannot.
these wild ideas long enough, and somebody's like, all right, enough. We got to go back to Charles Xavier's gifted school for school for gifted youngsters.
Lord, they can't help themselves. To be fair, this is probably an unpopular X-Men take, not with you, but probably anybody that's listening to this is under the age of 40. X-Men got too many mutants, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
And
idea of exploding the world and we just have random mutants that nobody gives a shit about is a bad idea. It's always been
and
a
they've
bad
gotten rid
idea.
of them twice, right?
Hmm.
They had the mutant massacre, and
Yeah.
then they had the extinction event or whatever where they all lost their powers.
Hmm.
And I don't know how many people are going to come out of this Fall of X if we're going to have the full roster because they went through so much effort to bring back like a Thunderbird
Hmm.
or a Banshee, I think maybe I don't even know, but they went through this arduous effort to bring back characters who had died forever ago.
Hmm.
And so I don't know, I don't even know if they still have the resurrection capability or what, but
Yeah. I mean, as I was looking into this and reading this, I was like, God dog it, we're gonna wind up having to read this shit. And I'm gonna be mad about it. Probably mad from the sense like, oh, you know what? It's probably gonna spark an interest. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and read. No, I'm not. That's not gonna
mhm.
happen. So I
It's
just,
just so, I mean, it's impossible. They were trying to tell, like, if you like look at the read order, they're asking you to read books that came out like 6 months apart with
mm,
no discernible pointer from one to the other. Like somebody had to go do a thesis and then post instructions for you to be able to put it together. I don't
yeah.
understand it. And that, they always have that. They have the one of the pages we have to pay for. They list
Hmm.
like stuff's out, but they don't show you like how the story flows. They're just giving you the release history so you can go buy it.
Yeah.
It's
And
irritating.
it's in so many books. And
Oh, it's so
like when we
irritating.
started, we were like, hey, this feels like a limited series. Like after House of X and Power of X, oh, this feels like a very limited series. So why are we doing that?
Yeah.
Tell the stories in the monthly books. Give it the
Hmm.
time to do it. Keep one writer on it, and whatever happened with Hickman as this has gone through, no matter what you feel about Hickman, people got strong feelings both ways. Like at least let him tell the damn story to the end.
Yeah.
Because
But what
I,
was it like? Was it like X Force number 2 where the Krakoa got invaded and Professor X got killed? I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they pulled the trigger on, oh no, we coming for y'all like
Mm-hmm.
immediately. There was no grace period to like live and tell the story and then
Mm-hmm.
eventually start the plot line down Fall of X. I mean, they essentially started Fall of X immediately.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's hot shotting the title, another wrestling term here, and it's just the constant reboots. It's just constant. I mean, again, it lasted 5 years, so in modern comic times, that's probably a lifetime.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just don't. I don't. Again, if you want to take them off Krakoa, that's fine. It would be probably naive to think that them coming off Krakoa doesn't have something to do with whenever they're going to make their appearance in the MCU. So I think all of it's kind of tied together, but it's just for me they've lost the plot a long time ago, and I just can't keep up. I can't do it. So
I like that
yeah,
return to the period Rogue outfit. That's from like
yeah.
the team of no names that we reviewed
Well,
with like,
Australia,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, whatever. All right, so let's jump ahead. And so we still haven't gotten into this book yet, but we will. I promise you. So if you thought that was a rant, so again, this, like I said, this is the post-onslaught era. If you don't remember, Professor Xavier went crazy after the little sliver of evil from Magneto got into his heart after he wiped his mind. I know
His
it sounds
C.
crazy. Yeah, it's that
His
seed,
C,
son. That evil seed, son. Got into his heart, and then it turned him into a lightweight, freaking sexual deviant child molester, and he started to turn and get revenge on the X-Men, where he turns into this psionic creature. It took all the heroes of the world sacrificing themselves to um defeat him, and all the heroes are gone. And we'll get into that version of that story, and that's what that is. And so this is why the X-Men are hanging out by themselves in Central Park, or that's not Central Park. What is that? You're
Times
more of
Square,
Times Square. There you go. You're more of a New Yorker person than
or
I am.
that's Rockefeller Center.
Rockefeller Center, yeah. And that's
Rockapads.
yeah, that's where all the heroes are. And in Franklin's little magical world, that's what they turned out to be. So if you don't remember, or I mean, because I guess they did another Heroes Reborn in 2021. So
Really?
no, yeah, they did another Onslaught too. That yeah, I didn't read it,
Crazy.
but yeah, exactly. So the idea of Heroes Reborn is because, and I don't know, I don't look at the sales charts or whatever, but if you didn't know, the Avengers and the Fantastic Four in the 90s sucked. If you don't believe us, go back and look at the Fantastic Four's cartoon from the 90s, because that sucked, as well as the Iron Man cartoon and the Avengers cartoon. Like, it all sucked. So the idea was they were going to reboot the heroes, but first we are going to bring back all the Image dudes that left to go start books that nobody gives a shit about, to reboot our established heroes and then give them, hot shot these heroes, and then move them into a new era in this alternate universe and world. And that leads to this question. So we have to ask ourselves, why did Heroes Reborn suck, Brother Beavis?
Well, I would say that can you flip back to that picture?
Sure.
First of all, who is this guy up front with the sword?
Namor? I have no idea.
Maybe.
Wanna,
That's a good guess.
yeah, I think it's
Um,
Namor.
yeah, I mean, first of all, you're absolutely right. Don't ever let the success of the MCU um
Yeah.
make you think that the Avengers comic was in any way successful. That was the one property they had not sold off in some way, and that was all they had left, and they got lightning in a bottle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why did it suck? So I think my recollection is the book was written like almost as if it was going to be ongoing. Like they would have 2 to 3 or maybe one issues like storylines where they would cycle through villains like, oh no, this is just like a brand new comic that we're establishing,
Mm,
and we're just going to work through the pantheon like it's a regular ass book.
mm,
And obviously that was never going to be the case, right? So instead of like telling a 12-part story about how they go from being banished to coming back, it was just like, we're here, we're going to tell 11 random stories. Guess what? We couldn't plot it out, so we actually need 13 to
mm.
then wrap it up, and then it'll just be done.
Yeah.
So that was like from a overall plot line, like I don't think any of it like was really, I'm assuming nothing was really thought out. Then obviously, some of the talent involved was up for the challenge. Some of the talent involved was clearly not up for the challenge. The whole like they had 5 years to practice not putting out books on time.
Mm.
And so then to get back into Marvel and be like, oh no, you're putting out 13 books in a year or
Yeah.
13 months or whatever. We're like, oh, word. So
Yeah.
then the quality just went to shit. They started shuffling the creators around.
Yeah.
And it was just obviously a publicity stunt that sort of brought us right back to where we started. And I don't know, like if there was renewed interest in any of the books on the back end or not.
Yeah, I mean, Heroes Return, I don't think was really like a hidden thing either. I mean, I remember getting the books because this is prime collecting time now,
Mhm.
getting probably
We fell for
12,
all this
13,
shit.
14 books a month. Yes, bought all the Heroes Reborn books. I was excited about, oh, they're bringing these guys back. I mean, again, if you go back and look at the Jim Lee Fantastic Four, I mean, it's an amazing looking book, but it sucked. And
Yeah.
then I think Liefeld wound up getting shit canned part of the way through it. And then so I think Lee wound up having, and his team
Yep.
had to take over Fantastic Captain America
Yep.
and the Avengers, because I think that's it. It turned out to be a mess. And like you said, it was just like, all right, yeah, we did this. All right, welcome back. And that was pretty much it. The story told nothing. It
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
a
It's not.
reason to take them out of the books for 12 months.
I'm sure the pitch was never like, here's a year-long story we want to tell.
Yeah.
What would be a great way to do this? It was, oh wow, we could get names back on the book because we don't have anybody
Mm,
that really measures up to, what we lost. Because, we read some of we were hitting the crossovers sort of in this window, and the creative teams, well, the writing, so this was, the Lobdell era or
mm-hmm.
whatever, and the Fabian Nicieza, but like the art was consistently bad.
Yeah.
The creative teams got shuffled around,
Mm.
and so like they're just kind of now getting some decent, like recognizable and distinct creative teams back together. um so I don't know, it was a hot shot.
Yeah, it's a completely it was a mess. And that's what I was saying. Like in 2021, they revisited it. I don't know who drew them. I don't know who did any of that stuff. But I was just like, that is not an era we need to go back to, like at all. Like this was, I mean, I'm sure I have those books somewhere, and I'm sure they're not worth a damn thing
Mm-hmm.
because who cares? Like it was really just, hey, yeah, we're gonna get these guys away. Okay, that's great. And the lasting image, again, if you're on YouTube, is the freaking Rob Liefeld
Mm.
Captain America titty shot. Like, I mean, it's just it is the lasting image of Heroes Reborn. It
It,
is.
he got run over by like a steamroller, and that
Yeah.
was what was left on the ground.
He's just, I mean, he's a terrible person. He's a terrible artist. There's nothing good about Rob Liefeld at
Yeah.
all.
And
And
again,
again, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, speaking of like resets, like it's not like they used the 13 issues where everybody was gone to
Yeah.
change any of the perception about the X-Men or
No.
change their standing in the world. They
Yeah.
go right back to being the people that are feared and hated by those they protect.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Talk about push. That's a push for the X-Men. Like, hey, you guys are the only heroes here. Nah. Okay. Whatever. Nothing. They didn't get a chance to change their
Like
perception
Spider-Man's
with
still
anybody.
around, right?
Yeah.
With Daredevil, there's got to be somebody.
It's kind of, all right, calling them mutants. Anyway, so all right. So let's jump into this book a little bit more. Like I said, everybody's out Christmas, doesn't want to hang out with Sam, essentially. Like everybody makes an excuse. Our team that is out there is what? We got Bishop, Beast, Trish Tilby is out there.
Mhm.
Like I have not to go back again. Who else is hanging out on the team here?
Gambit, Rogue,
Gambit, Rogue, and
Joseph.
Joseph. Yeah, I think that's it. And yeah, and we said Bishop, hopefully. So they're all there and they all make up an excuse as to why they can't hang out with Sam. So Sam, again, this is a Cannonball significant book, and he's just out, kind of hanging out and shopping for things, waiting for this fight to start with Gladiator. And again, we ran Sam and his family where they were on January the 6th or whatever. But this is a fairly well written book, I felt. And what different from issue 340, you can tell Joey Mad was fully engaged on this book. Like you don't
Mhm.
have the lapses in the artwork that are like, hey, somebody drew this page or he drew it on the toilet. Like this one's a fairly good looking book. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, this is, we've had like a progression of Jim Lee clones at
Mm,
best who could keep it together for a few pages at a time. But no, this is, he's one of the distinctive looks for this era, and you can immediately recognize, his work.
yeah. It's just great. There's a Punisher sighting here, just like all random as hell as well. So yeah. So they don't want to do anything with him. So we get Sam alone walking through the city, and then Gladiator shows up through like a portal, I think in FAO Schwartz, and he comes and attacks, Sam, and it just leads to this comic book fight. So Gladiator, leader of the Imperial Guard, not really stating his intentions as to why he's here, just starts beating ass, which is always fun. And, they get into this fight, and Sam's, doing his best to kind of fight against him. Now, we can go back in the what Cornette and them do the time machine. We can go back in our time machine too, because I remember us talking about this book when it came out. We were like, "Whoa, like what the hell?" Like we were really excited for Sam. At least
Yeah.
I remember being really excited for him, and I remember like, man, this book looks amazing. Like the artwork on this book is incredible. And I remember being excited about this, especially as we get towards the ending or whatever. I mean, do you remember this too? Like, wow, I never seen Cannonball like this.
If at any time outside of this podcast you had said the word cannonball, I would immediately think about this issue. Immediately.
Yes, immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. This was like, what? Because I don't think Gladiator had been beaten down as much as he has over the years. Like he was, when you say Gladiator to me, I think of him and Colossus toppling buildings on each
Yeah.
other and him pulling Colossus out of the rubble.
Yep.
And so for Cannonball to like stand toe to toe with him, that was huge.
Yeah, it was a really big deal. And yeah, I mean this is a really good book. We'll come back to the fight here in a second after we go through the B plot. But yeah, this was like an exciting moment in this particular book. And again, this is Joey Mad top peak powers. Like this is such an amazing book. All the action that's in it as well. Just a great job. And our B plot, Joseph is trying to uh beat basically. Remember Joseph is the clone of Magneto. He's been de-aged. He was at some like Spanish monastery of some sort with his mind wiped.
No,
And he's a
I think you
clone.
might be crossing over into Zorn. I think Zorn was in the Spanish monastery.
Was
I
that
could be
Zorn?
wrong. I
I
would.
think this is Joseph. I think
Is it?
Joseph is yes, he is the de-aged clone
Yeah.
of
They don't know what he is. It's not been
yeah,
revealed as a clone
old
yet
bitch.
at
I
this
don't know
point.
what he was. Yeah. Yeah, and that it's basically, and so Rogue and Magneto have a history, whether it be the young one or the old one, and she taking a liking to him, old and young. But this is also while she is, hanging out a lot with Gambit, even though they can't touch each other or whatever, and that kind of love triangle that comes from that. But he used some technology and built a machine that he is able to, kiss her on the forehead and touch her and make her wait. That didn't sound right. Touch her and make her feel good. Wait, what? What book was this? All right. So yeah, I mean that's basically it. I mean, again, it's a B plot. It furthers the story of Rogue and Gambit's complicated relationship, and it makes it even more complicated with Joseph being there. This obviously turns out bad later on when he starts to, well, when the other person comes back, that is the old Mac. This is a mess. This is Spider-Man clone shit. But yes, it's B plot stuff. So all right, let's get back into our plots here.
Is this supposed to be a gift for her that she can then go use to do whatever, or is it
With
for
Gambit or
them?
with him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah, I mean, Joseph's intentions are very pure at this moment. But
Yeah. God, look
yeah,
at Rogue in this book. Jeez.
yeah. Oh no, amazing. All right. So it's made me think Cannonball is going, spoiler alert, is going to defeat um uh Gladiator here. So it started to make me think about some other like shocking upsets. And the comic book one that's the most reasonable one is when Spider-Man beat Fire Lord. Spider-Man beats a Herald of Galactus in hand-to-hand like combat and just beats the bejesus out of him. And it was Amazing 270. Can you think of any others? I put Mike Tyson getting knocked out. I mean, it was a shocking upset then too. These
Yeah.
are all
Well,
shocking upsets.
do you there's a also during the McFarlane era, there's a Spider-Man beats the Juggernaut. Uh,
Of course he
but
does.
I mean, all you have to do is get the hat off.
Yeah.
Shocking upsets in comics. God.
That
Uh,
Spider-Man Fire Lord one was pretty bad. They're like, you can't take on the Herald of Galactus. The hell I can't. And he
well,
beat that man to a pulp.
but was he really like? Yeah, he's the Herald of Galactus, but he's not the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh no,
Oh,
he's
how about?
definitely.
Can we count Storm over Cyclops?
Yeah, that was nobody saw that one coming. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. When she was depowered, yeah, that would be a
yeah.
good upset. Yeah, I mean, is Cannonball is at the top here.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
I mean, this is like a shocking upset. And as he's going through this and processing and thinking and using all of his Xavier, whatever he learned over time, and he figures out or remembers that Gladiator's powers is based on his confidence. And
Mm.
once he shook his confidence when he tried this move on him, and then that was it. He's like, huh? And then he
Mm.
just freaking knocks him all the way the fuck out. And he defeats Gladiator. Like, again, I'm getting goosebumps from talking about this. I remember this so vividly. Like, good Lord, way to go, freaking Cannonball. I'm gonna be dressing up for him as Halloween or nothing, but I was like, this
you,
is
you
like
don't have
such
that
an
that
exciting
classic
moment.
headgear at home ready to go.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, thinking ahead, using a wrestling term, he gets the push. He wins the Royal Rumble, wins Money in the Bank, whatever. I don't really know. But he doesn't ascend past this point, and fairly much he goes back down the card
I mean, this
because
is he's not he doesn't appear on the show for a while. Like in the final panel is all right, I'm gonna send all of you
yes,
off to deal with whatever, but you who just kicked my ass, you have to
yeah,
stay here.
you have
You're
to
not
stay here.
working
Yes,
here.
exactly. He doesn't even get a chance to go and do the next issues with the X-Men are going to do off world. So yeah, he kind of gets screwed in that regard. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't send a youth who just kicked my ass
yes,
into danger. Like, come on,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. That seems like a plot hole.
That was his revenge.
Yeah,
He
and so
cock-blocked him as revenge.
yes, for sure. So yeah, as you alluded to on the last panel here, Gladiator indicates that of course the Shi'ar Empire is in trouble. Like, look, we know
Mhm.
we beat y'all ass every time y'all do something, but we still need help. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here for y'all to come out here. So he comes down. And by the way, freaking all the heroes, they're like, oh yeah, we heard this fight, all the X-Men, we heard this fight and all this banging and booming and all this stuff. Yeah, we just got here. Like, gee, thanks. Cause this could have ended horribly for Cannonball. But
Even
y'all,
mutants don't answer the call when mutants are
man,
in
listen,
danger.
this
They're
is
like,
terrible. So yeah, so that's basically what it is. He gives them these transport spheres or whatever, and they take them off planet, and then we'll see it in 342. As they're fighting against the Shi'ar. But yes, I mean, great.
speaking of going back to where we started, like Shi'ar is a recycled storyline.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, and again, from here, I don't know. Maybe we just don't see it or didn't see it when we were in the middle of it, but now it just feels again, I swear after this thing when they fall of X or whatever, they're gonna wind up playing freaking baseball on the field at,
Oh, of
at the
course,
mansion. You
yes.
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They're like,
Absolutely.
oh well, we gotta
That's
give
totally
you
happening.
yep, we gotta give you all this whole thing here because this is what y'all want.
Hmm.
But again, is it
But
really
they're
what
gonna
you
have to have like a 12-team tournament.
yeah. the inner rim, the inner
Yeah.
rim
They're gonna have to
softball
like the
champions.
World Baseball Challenge or whatever it's
Oh
called.
my god, it's just bad. So yeah, yeah. So again, after all that, Sam gets left on Earth, and then that's the end of issue 341. Again, a good book. One of the greatest pushes of all time is to push somebody over a perfect villain. They didn't let him beat the Wrecking Crew. He beat
Yeah.
Gladiator, sir.
Yeah.
Like, highly recommend if you haven't gone back to read this book. It's a great looking book. It's well written. This is one of my favorite issues of Uncanny in this particular run. All right.
Wow. Now high
Yeah.
praise from the
Yes, I agree.
producer.
Well, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Compared to, you did
Yeah,
say in this era, so
yeah. So we're gonna blow through now. X-Men 61. As I said before, this is the B book. This is the conclusion of Storm's story with the Eternal Heart. The B plot is the deepening love story between Archangel, and Psylocke. And again, this is the B book. It has the B-level artist. They're about to put on a long-term person on there, even though it has the same writer. Whatever you want to feel about Storm as a leader of the X-Men. And this version of this particular book, this is not a great story for her. It is a B plot story. It's just a whole B plot book. And it's
And who
such a
did
B
this
plot.
cover? Like, because this is
Oh,
not.
yeah, I don't
It
know.
looks like Larry Stroman almost, but the signature doesn't look like it. But it does.
Yeah,
It's not. I don't think it's the same team that drew the inside.
no. And Juggernaut's giving Bane here with all these
Yeah,
veins popping out.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get through this book fairly quickly because this B plot story that led through issue 60 doesn't even lead off issue 60 61. They're like, yeah, we're in on this thing, and we go to this story with between Archangel and Psylocke. So it's picking up right
Wait,
after Graydon. Sorry,
you
Archangel.
skipped the first page. Like
What?
this outfit that Angel has on with like his moon boots and his oversized like two-tone hoodie. Like
uh
this is what millionaires who date hot X-Men look like.
Hot
Okay.
British but not
Okay.
really Asian X-Men. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, this story and their relationship, I kind of vaguely remember. There's a cover I think coming up in one of these books where they're on there looking at each other lovingly and whatnot.
Wait,
Um, but
is this pre or post crim?
yeah, this is Crimson
This is
Dawn.
okay.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. This is Crimson Dawn. Warren is fully in control of his Archangel powers at this point in time. Like he's not under the control of
But he doesn't have archangel powers.
Oh yeah,
He's just blue and he has
he's just
regular
blue.
ass wings
That's
and
right.
everything.
Yeah, so he's not under any kind of control of Apocalypse or anything like that, and he's reasserting his trying to get his life back and established here in the X-Men. The art on this book dot 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 not great.
Not good. Not
Especially
good.
after you read the other one. Okay. So again, Crimson Dawn, the Hand, any time that ever shows up, man, you are in the B book. Tell me a
Yeah.
good Hand story.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. I wish
The
I could.
Hand, the Hand are the Asian wrecking crew. Okay.
Pretty
So
much.
this is not nothing good could ever come from that. And it's weird because he thinks he hears this fight in there, and then he gets in there. There's nobody around. I don't know if they're doing it on the psychic plane. This is a mess. Like to
Yeah.
start.
Like, yeah, because is this actually happening or
Yeah.
no? Because she's in costume and then she's just sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
with her
Yeah.
back all arched like one does.
Well, when you don't have a spine, yep, you can do that. That's kind of how that works. So yeah, that is our B plot in this book. The A plot also sucks though.
The A plot, also the B plot.
Yes, the A plot is also B. So yeah, Karma is in this book. That's kind of gets revealed here. Is this a first appearance of Karma?
Are
Or is
we
she?
talking about the same Karma?
I think so.
Sean Koi Man from the New Mutants?
I think so. They can't be two Karmas. What's this AEW with all the pages and Adams? Come on, man.
Karma Cage and Karma Page.
Adam Karma.
Oh no.
If
She
they're
must
not
have
the
got
same,
de-aged or something.
yeah, it must be something like that, or maybe she
Because
was a.
so
Go ahead.
in the New Mutants storyline, if I recall correctly, Karma disappeared. She was the, I think, co-leader. She and Sam were co-leaders of the team. She disappears fairly early, and
Mm,
she has a twin brother who may or may not be dead. And
okay.
then she absorbed his psyche somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and then she becomes like obese, like Gilbert Grape obese.
Oh Lord.
And then they find her, I think, in conjunction with like the something in Asgard, where Danny Moonstar
No,
becomes the
that sounds
Valkyrie.
familiar. Yeah,
And then she
God,
comes back kind of regular, but now I don't know what's
why?
happening
Yeah,
with
why
her.
is she a child here in this? And really, this is just like, hey, can we just draw some characters that I want to be in this book? Because she's pulling out like
Mm-hmm.
images from people's minds, so we get a Cable thing in there. Juggernaut, which is why he's in here. Shadow King was in the last episode, issue as well. Like it's just a, a, this is not a good book at all. And I don't think that's why I was praising 341 over it, but it didn't help. It didn't hurt because this is just a terrible book. Honestly, it's not going on. The Eternal Heart, the story that they sold to get to that point, Karma pulling images out of people that like for whatever particular reason, like there's just nothing.
Well, that's her power, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
but there's nothing
No,
striking
it's
about
not.
this book.
She would psychically possess people. It was
Okay.
Moonstar that would create psychic projections of people's nightmares.
Oh, okay. Say, your New
I know.
Mutant
I was
knowledge.
gonna. I feel sick for me right now that I know so much about the damn New Mutants, but
And
I feel
meanwhile,
like I failed myself in some
yeah.
way, and I need to forget that as soon as possible and like fill it with something just not even useful, just something different.
Well, meanwhile, other X-Men show up again. Not great art here, and just for like random as hell. Like, oh yeah, by the way, like Storm took off. We're gonna go help her. Okay,
Well,
so
because she ditched Cyclops, right?
yes,
He was like, I'm not letting you face this without me. Oh,
yeah,
where'd you go?
yeah,
So yeah.
and they're doing the stare at the camera thing, the Jim Lee stare at the camera thing, which I hate. Um,
Yeah.
and and then here's the
We
other
get
thing too. It's
the
like the
future menage a trois team.
hey now, yeah, that was one good thing for Krakoa, I guess. The drawing between Wolverine, he's like complete savage animal, like in the other book, and here he's just
Yeah.
like, I'm kind of like, me, I'm kind of, savage, but not really.
I just have
So
bad claws.
yeah, whatever. So yeah, whatever. This book sucks. Storm winds up destroying the heart and defeats. I couldn't even remember the lady's name. I ain't even bother typing it. The Eternal lady.
Kandra, I
Yeah,
believe.
there you go. Sure, whatever. Tell me I missed anything in issue 61 that was important.
No.
Mm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
This doesn't like this is not a good book. And again, we're gonna get into the Pacheco era here, which is good. It depends on how you feel about Carlos Pacheco too. He's RIP, right? He just passed
I
away.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, he just passed away. And so, but he's gonna have a fairly long run on this book. But when you start to look ahead, I think his first issue is like with Shang-Chi. Okay. Like
Well, I think so. We get the reveal of Sebastian Shaw on the end
yes, at the
of the
end of this.
page.
Yeah.
And I think this is after when Shinobi killed him
Yes,
as part of the
supposedly.
upstarts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was a
All right.
fake kill that he let that on. Like, thank you to my son. He's like been hiding out in Hong Kong, plotting for whatever he's about to do, which is again going to get us over there, which is going to get us into this Asian thing with Shang-Chi and others. And again,
What were they trying to sell Shang-Chi in 97?
man, they've been trying to sell him for a while
Oh,
now.
wait. Like, so when? Oh, no. When did they MCU was 2012, right?
2008, I thought
Okay.
Iron Man was, or 10, something
Okay.
like that. But
Because
still,
Shang-Chi he was on the list of like properties they were going to use, and they eventually did. But
yeah.
so I don't know why they were trying to sell him now.
How'd you feel
But
about that movie?
I enjoyed it. It was too much dialogue to explain everything,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it.
Mm,
I thought he was cool. I don't I can enjoy Aquafina. I don't have like an immediate response. I suspect she's someone who some people just inherently hate.
yes.
I enjoyed I think Trevor is great. I
Mm,
thought his return was great.
they handled it well.
Yeah, I mean the 10 rings themselves were kind of confusing and
Mm,
not seemingly as powerful as they wanted us to believe.
mm,
But I enjoyed it.
okay. Yeah. It's just a very disjointed movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of up, kind of down. Like, oh, that was
It
kind of cool.
It's
It's
like now
very
we're going
much
to take
like,
a long time to explain this to you, and
yeah.
then stuff's going to happen. Now we're
Yeah.
going to take some time to explain this to you, and
Yeah.
stuff's going to happen.
Yeah. It's very Eternal-esque in that regard.
It's better than the Eternals.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I wouldn't argue with you about it. So but yeah, so those are our two issues. So we'll get to 97 and the others if you again looking ahead. Um I think I can't even remember what 342 is. I know 62 is like a cover because Wolverine starts wearing his blue do-rag.
Well,
Um
342 has got to be uh the Shi'ar, right?
oh yeah, so they're gonna be there. Oh, I think there's a road cover with her like kind of looking over the shoulder with her ass out. It might be an alternate like an
The one
alternate
I'm looking
cover.
at looks like it has Magni or I'm sorry, Joseph
Joseph.
standing on an asteroid.
Oh, like kind of looking at like sticking his arms out or whatever. He
Yeah,
looks like he's real like a freaking tiny version of himself. Yes, that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, I think there's an alternate though with Rogue butt out. And then 62 is the one with uh Wolverine with that freaking do-rag, I think. He's wearing like the face covering that's
Yeah,
blue. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Not a good time for
no,
Wolverine.
no, not at all. And yeah, all right. So I think y'all know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, you haven't been listening to this show. We're gonna play our favorite game. It's MAGA Not MAGA, y'all. We got a new set of mutants to go through. So if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it, and we'll be going from left to right on your radio dial here. Um, we got a few. Um, yeah, we got a few
I
here.
feel like we did at least one of these.
Did we? Well, I think we talked about Gambit in the past. We did.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we said
yeah,
Gambit couldn't vote because he has charges.
yeah, 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 yeah. He definitely did not show up to the voting booth for any reason whatsoever. So again, we're gonna go through them. We'll probably be in agreement. This is also another reason why we have Hutch on here because he has interesting takes. I'm gonna move us video wise over so we can see the screen. That what picture I have of Rogue, that's the one I think that's on the alternate cover.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll take it, by the way. So yeah, anyway, all right. So let's go, y'all. MAGA not MAGA. Henry McCoy, the beast. MAGA not MAGA.
Probably MAGA. I
Really?
mean, he's big university, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He definitely becomes MAGA.
Yeah.
Like if you read any
Yeah.
college football player or yeah, kind of high school football player.
Yeah.
Uh, well, although he does, well, no. Oh yeah, he got dumped by a member of the media. So
Mm,
that's MAGA
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Damn, Tristilby's on here too. My initial thought was he's not MAGA because he's too damn smart to be MAGA. But those are interesting arguments that you make. I don't know. He seems that he could on both sides of that he could intellectualize himself into being either.
Hmm.
And I can see him just smarting enough in himself into being MAGA. So I'll take that.
I mean, Hutch's argument against Mr. Fantastic was he was too smart,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think I'm gonna say MAGA for
All
peace.
right. We can agree on that. And we're gonna agree on this one. Warren Worthington the third,
MAGA as fuck,
Archangel, MAGA as fuck.
or until he has paid somebody to keep quiet somewhere along the way, and as soon as that comes out, then he'll pull that MAGA parachute if he didn't
Yes.
have it on already. So he's MAGA as fuck.
He is tax break, trickle
Mm-hmm.
down economics,
Yep.
all of those entitled white man. Like he is super MAGA. Like
Clearly inflated the value of his property in the Alps. Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah, 100% MAGA. Okay, Joseph, MAGA not MAGA.
Well, this one's tough because he stands up for he stands up for a disadvantaged set of the population,
Mm-hmm.
but that could also be like the flyover syndrome.
Mm,
Um, he is prone to insurrection like activity.
yeah,
Okay, so this is Joseph, not Magneto.
right.
Joseph is not MAGA.
I agree. I'm gonna go not Magna as well. He's younger. He's got empathy for people. He wants to help other people. He is not MAGA yet, but Magneto is MAGA as fuck. Like
I would say that,
he's like, ooh, I like despots.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and align myself with that one because yeah, super MAGA. All right. So yeah, I'll say so. Gambit, we say he got charges. Throwing his vote away. We're fine with that. All right. Rogue then, MAGA not MAGA.
I can't accept a world where Rogue is MAGA, so I have to say not MAGA.
Counter argument: 53% of white women voted for Trump. She's from
Yeah,
what,
I mean,
Mississippi.
our default. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Our default category, and she doesn't have a history with any black dudes.
No, she was
Um,
formerly evil.
yeah.
She could have turned the page, I guess, but do you really turn the page when you used to be evil as fuck?
I mean,
Uh,
I would accept voted voted MAGA in 2016 and flipped in 2020. That's
okay,
as much as I'll give you.
okay, noted. Betsy Braddock, Psylocke, MAGA not MAGA.
So she's from a privileged family in
England,
Great Britain.
yeah.
She has ties to Magic World.
Mm,
And so, but now she's in an Asian body.
that doesn't help. You're building a MAGA case, sir.
I'm thinking it's like obviously, with the you know what? So identity crisis. So she would okay. So like if she voted, then that would be like evidence of election fraud, right? Because like you have this person voted with this ID, whatever. So
oh yeah, she could have voted twice. Yeah.
yeah, but none of her citizenships are actually eligible to vote. But I could see her being like, I don't understand why you guys don't like him. That being said, the British royal family didn't really like him,
Mm,
but she
yeah.
is dating Warren.
Yeah,
But it
that's
doesn't work out.
mm, for political views. Maybe. Mm,
Tough one.
yeah, I'm gonna say she's probably MAGA. Like what's the Tories in Britain is the Conservative
Yeah,
Party.
I think you would have to constantly explain to her why MAGA is bad.
Yeah,
Like
like
you
she
would
wouldn't
shoot
get it
because
right.
she would just be asking questions,
Mm,
and you'd be like, "No, no, you're
no,
asking a question to say something ridiculous.
right.
Can't
Yeah,
do that.
I'm gonna say she's MAGA.
I can't. I can't make an argument against that."
All right. Trish Tilby, member of the media, dumped
Mm-hmm.
freaking probably turned beast MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
MAGA not MAGA, Trish Tilby.
Yeah, I guess from that regard, well, is she a news reporter or a news entertainer? She was
Mm,
always like on the scene for these disasters,
right.
um, which typically we like to deny those in MAGA world. So say not MAGA,
Yeah, I would probably say the same. Probably
but
not
if Fox
MAGA.
News came calling,
Oh, she'll take that check.
she could flip.
Yeah, she'll take that check. I would definitely say that Trish Tilby's probably not MAGA. All right, y'all.
And Herschel Walker in the bottom right corner.
And now our final one, Bishop Lucas,
MAGA as fuck.
MAGA as
Like
fuck.
he comes down on the wrong side of every split in the
Everything.
country, like on like the totalitarian side of
Yep.
every split.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
And
MAGA as
I
fuck.
know, and he like, and I think he always has this confused look. I think because he's like, "What the hell are all these people doing here? Let's beat the shit out of them, put them in camps." Like he is MAGA is hell. Like this, all this freedom. What are y'all doing with all this
Yeah,
freedom? No,
I'm in
no.
the X-Men, so as soon as they let me know, I could just take them all out. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he
Bishop
is
is
MAGA as
MAGA as
fuck.
hell. Oh no, yeah, ultra MAGA. Yep, he is definitely Herschel Walker, Tim Scott, whatever, Blacks for Trump, like completely. Yeah, Bishop MAGA as hell. We got a I was gonna say a Facebook question. It was on YouTube from user rum for breakfast. So that's interesting. And I told him I would ask this question. He asked the question like, who do you think in the X-Men who haven't gone over yet might be secret MAGA? Like they kind of present themselves as probably somebody that's progressive, but aren't.
Well, was Cyclops' big switch over to Racer X? Was that his MAGA turn?
That's his MAGA turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gave Nightcrawler. He was like, he's
That was the first. I was trying to think about that one. Nightcrawler is a pretty good bet.
yeah, because he's kind of uber religious. Uh, so that kind of tends to lead to some conservative thoughts. Although he looks like a demon, that kind of could, there's no way that he could, it's like
Yeah.
Latinos for Trump. Like it doesn't seem that this would work, but you still are on the bad side of history here. That's a solid one. Like Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is a very solid choice. I'm trying to
Yeah. I
think of
mean,
any others.
I don't think like Colossus, right? Because he's more communist than anything.
Yeah, but that was one of my thoughts when I was thinking about before, and I was like, oh yeah, I mean it's Russian, kind of get that completely out of your system.
Magic.
Ilyana, yeah, I was mag as fuck. Yeah.
She's more like magic. Yeah, she could. I don't know if it would be a secret turn. She is kind of MAGA already.
Yeah,
So
kind of. Yeah.
Nightcrawler's a strong call, I gotta say. That was where my first kind of thought went there as I'm going through like the prime rosters of
Hmm.
like the post like the giant size era
Yeah.
and then the originals.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna be like, I was like Banshee. Nah, Banshee would be openly MAGA. There's no hiding that part of it. He's a cop, freaking
Mm-hmm.
Irish Catholic. You know what I mean? Like he has a lot of MAGA tendencies
Mm-hmm.
already. So yeah, I have to
Yeah,
think about it a little
Nightcrawler's
bit.
got a relationship with the church.
Hmm.
Um,
Leads to some conservative beliefs.
yeah,
So
I I wish we had more to offer. I think he called it.
yeah, good job, run for breakfast. All right. So I
Or
think
they.
that was my last slide. Yeah, okay. So we'll stop the share. So yeah, y'all. So we'll come back to it. What's that view? I liking that one. Gallery? There we go. So that'll be it. So we'll be coming back with 342 and 62 to kind of start our run through 67. Um excuse me, 1997. And again, this cartoon is supposed to come out in early of 90 or 2024. Like I think they said February. So we'll be probably kind of crossing the finish line about the time that it premieres. So we'll just kind of keep it going, 2 issues at a time as we get through, and then it culminates in issue 350 with this big reveal about Gambit. If you haven't read this book, that's 20 plus years old. But yeah, it's a popcorn fart to use a wrestling term.
Yeah,
So yeah, not
delicious.
great for sure. All right, man. So that's it. And we will see y'all on the other side of this in a little bit. Probably the next time you see us, it will be for professional wrestling. I am most of the way through 2 very bad pay-per-views.
I
And
just got through
Super
the
Brawl,
the Hearts. No, I'm like halfway through WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Oh yeah,
I
it
think I
kind of
just got
goes.
through the Hart Foundation, and I don't even know who they wrestled.
Uh, God damn, who did they wrestle?
Oh, the Nasty Boys.
Oh God, yeah, it was a tag team change. Oh, spoiler alert. All right,
I was
all
sitting
right.
there like I saw like three baby faces in a row. One, I was like, oh, they're setting the crowd. They're trying to like
Yeah,
get the crowd ready for some
yeah.
disappointment.
Oh God. Speaking of MAGA, he's there too. Ugh, anyway, all right. So yeah, no wonder he's a Hall of Famer. All right. So anyway, so we'll be coming back for that. So be checking in. I'm the producer. I'm signing off. Go ahead and sign off, brother Beavis.
See you next time.
See you next time, everybody. Peace.